As I write this down, what you're going to see is I'm going to reorganize the terms so that the x's and y's are grouped together. I'm also going to leave a space so I can go back and complete the square. And then also in the same time as I'm writing down my problem, I'm going to move the constant over to the other side. So I'm going to subtract a 1 from both sides to get that constant over on the other side. Okay, once I have it set up this way, what I can then do is complete the square. In order to complete the square, what you're going to do is you're going to take 1/2 the first degree term's coefficient and you're going to square that value. So 1/2 of positive 2 is positive 1. When you square positive 1, you get a plus 1. You're going to add that to both sides of the equation to maintain the balance. And the whole point of doing this is it allows you to rewrite this expression of 3 terms as a binomial square. And that binomial square is always going to have the same pattern. The first term is x, and the second term is half of this value. So again, half of positive 2 was positive 1. And so that's what you'll write down here. Okay. Next, you're going to do the same thing with the y's. You're going to take 1/2 of the first degree term's coefficient. Half of negative 4 is negative 2. You're going to square that. When you square negative 2, you get a plus 4. You're going to add that value to both sides, again, to balance the equation. These numbers that you add on each side will always be positive. You're always adding a value. There'll never be a negative value. And what this allows you to do is, once again, rewrite these 3 terms as a binomial square, and its pattern will always be y plus half of this first degree term's coefficient. So again, half of negative 4 was negative 2. The values that you add to x and y are going to be the values that you squared to get these numbers up here. Okay. And then the final step is just to combine your like terms over here. So the 1 and negative 1 cancel, leaving just a 4. And so if you were asked to find the equation of the circle, this is the end product. But in this particular problem, it asks you to interpret this equation and identify the coordinates of the center and the radius. So the center's coordinates are the x coordinate that would give you a 0 inside. So that's a negative 1. And the y coordinate for the center is the value of y that would give you a 0 inside this calculation. So that's a 2. So here are the coordinates of your center. And then your radius is equal to, remember the pattern for this, you're looking at r squared is equal to 4. So to find what r is, we square root both sides. Remember, technically, your r value is plus or minus 2, but a radius has to be a positive measure. So we're just going to use the positive root of that. And so these would be your 2 answers for that question.